Hello, everyone. Ugh. Ugh. God. Yeah. Ugh. In case any of you haven't heard the terrible news, my cat has the worst timing ever. iNcontroL, Geoff Robinson, just passed away very abruptly on Saturday morning. Um, I got the news on Saturday, and I know Jeff's family wanted time to, you know, notify his family, friends, and everyone before, sharing anything public, which is like super fair, And today was supposed to be what the deck, where we're supposed to be super jovial and on and funny and in a good mood. Ugh. I don't even have tissue in my house. All I have is a roll of toilet paper. I like to think Geoff would find it funny. I'm just gonna be like your stereotypic nerd and have a fucking roll of toilet paper by his computer. Ugh. Just so you know, we don't have a plan for today. We don't really have a plan. I don't know. I just wanted to honestly go live and talk about Geoff and, you know, just talk to the wonderful community. And cry. Oh God, there's something about streaming where it's like, I feel like the appeal and the nature of streaming is that you're yourself. You're actually tuning into a person and hanging out with a person. It's not like if I was doing stage acting where I have the lines and the role that I'm sort of, focusing on. So I don't really know how to not just be myself when I'm live. So I just knew that it's some whatever the first day I went live was, I'd be really sad. Oh, fuck. There's a few people who I feel like have framed it really well. A lot of the fucking hell. As someone whose job it is to talk for a living, it is so weird to struggle to talk, I've had a few people frame it that, fuck. I've had a few people frame it that the StarCraft community really was like a big family, where, I didn't hang out with Geoff every week by any means, but, I've known Geoff for almost 20 years. Fucking years, man. And like with everyone in the StarCraft community, you sort of had this, you have this like shared experience. When I was younger, it was like every year there was this annual loop around the World Cyber Games, which was essentially the only notable tournament in town. Like for half the year there would be no notable tournament, but for half the year everyone would start, like, oh, is so-and-so coming back to play again? A lot of people would be frustrated after WCG losses and take a month or two off, but invariably everyone would come back, and you just see all those familiar faces again. Geoff was there. Actually, met Geoff when I was like 13 or 14. And he was one of those guys, in tryouts for WCG and tournaments through high school and through college, and then StarCraft 2 exploded, and it was really kind of cool, but also really funny, like all these people that I just, would see online in chat channels and stuff, who would, were suddenly, like, going to every tournament. You'd see them there, and they were becoming stars, and, I remember like rooting for Geoff, and also kind of chuckling because he was pretty cheesy in a lot of those MLGs, and I remember his tweets when he'd be like super hyped about getting top 1 or top 2 in his group, and then into StarCraft commentary, like doing commentary with Geoff. Like every year at BlizzCon, no matter what was happening, having drinks with Geoff and hanging out. StarCraft Remastered comes out, and we do that launch event, and then 2 more. There's StarCraft Holiday Bash, which is all on my YouTube, which is like fantastic. Zotac Cup, and then the 20th anniversary of StarCraft. I don't know, it's just... It's just so weird, I was like just on a panel with Geoff at last BlizzCon that he hosted. Did a great job of, and I don't know, it's so weird. It's just so surreal. Like, I actually don't have terribly much terribly much information about what happened or anything. I know there's a lot of people that are trying to sort of make connections where they can. Is it was it this medical issue that he tweeted about before? And my understanding is that the family will share more information when they know. Oh, God. It's just so weird. All the StarCraft people, you just have such a connection to them. Because it's not just, like, time spent together. It's that, like, shared passion and that shared obsession with, game, community, streaming, whatever it might be, that like it's really hard to... I mean, I don't know if other streamers feel this way, but I certainly do. There's a real bond and connection that you get with someone who plays your game as seriously as you do. So it's just hard to replicate, I'm just really sad. Ugh. shit. I'd like to once again stress we don't have an agenda or plan today. I don't know, I just... Part of the reason why I just wanted to go live is that you all mean a great deal to me. I know a lot of people in gaming, a lot of streamers, and myself included, you know. We spend a lot of time by ourselves, you know. And honestly, the biggest socializing I do on most days is going live and seeing all the familiar names and the familiar faces here. It's really nice, you know. It's just remarkable to, you know, with that in mind, where, you know, you're sitting by yourself talking to a web camera, occasionally going to events where they say sit in that room and talk to that camera. You go, okay. And then, you know, you might meet 20 or 30 people at an event, and then you go home and continue to do some of the same. It's just so remarkable, the impact that Geoff's death's had. Just people I haven't even talked to in a while, you know. Just reaching out. Like Apollo messaged me, and I haven't talked to Apollo in so long, you know. I casted my first StarCraft event professionally with Apollo when he was D-Apollo, when he was on Dignitas, and I literally never stopped calling him D-Apollo. Potentially to his annoyance. Oh, God. So strange, you know. Thanks everyone for your kindness and support. If any of you have any iNcontroL stories, I'd be happy to hear them. I'd encourage you even to post them. I mean, for me, a lot of catharsis comes from reading other people's stories, which is essentially what I've just been doing. All night last night and this morning. I'm still on my weird sleep schedule. I was actually so worn out on Friday, or on a Sunday. I just went to bed at 8 p.m. then just woke up at like 3:30. And I've been trying to, like, you know, get ready to hold it together on air, but God. I'm the Shaz says the time you fell on your ass in State of the Game 100. Yeah, do we have some clips? Let's watch some clips, man. God, Geoff was very funny. Oh. Alright, Witty Adrian. Oh my God, this is so good. Alright, how do we turn off all this other Garbage. Get the bookmarks out of here. Oh, God. How's our audio?
Yeah. Job and then came home and into the wee hours of the night did a podcast. You know, like that's good stuff. And I agree with what Tyler said. As we push forward,
Jason Lee. Sorry.
The opportunities are going to be more present, I feel like, for guys like us to take our jobs now in our 20s and continue to do it into our 30s and 40s.
I'm sure we'll
because of guys like those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers to them, please. Cheers to them.
To our invisible cups, at least over here.
To our invisible cups. DJ Weetzer Scoots, Odie, you old people. You might shit the bed. You might be uglier. Your balls are sagging a lot worse. Things like fast food is a conundrum to you. You might get more grumpy. I mean, Sir Scoot's Twitter is absolute shit these days. Can we be honest with you?
Yeah, get your shit together.
What you've
get your shit together,
what
Scott.
you've done for the workplace, what you've done just by being the redwood trees of our scene, absolutely phenomenal. We'd do a commercial break if we could, but unfortunately we still don't have.
I still can't run commercials.
Hey man, I can't believe you killed the DX Racer. Those are so good jokes.
All right, there's some good moments in here.
DX Racer
So I found it very funny. First of all, these shoes, like, I really like these shoes, and I didn't want to get new shoes, so you can actually just see holes right there. You can see holes in the shoes. And this hole right here, it would actually, if it was hot outside, when I would walk on the sidewalk, it would burn my foot. So I actually slowly developed a callus at this random spot in the middle of my foot because I didn't want to get rid of these shoes. And after this clip is when I got rid of them. Because someone's like, what about water leaking in? I live in California, where it only rains to the north, right? Like, nowhere in Los Angeles was it wet ever. So I just would, like, burn my foot. So I wanna point out that when Geoff said redwood trees is when I lost my mind, right here.
You might shit the bed. You might be uglier. Your balls are sagging a lot worse. Things like fast food is a conundrum to you. You might get more grumpy. I mean, Sir Scoot's Twitter is absolute shit these days. Can we be honest with you?
Yeah, get your shit together.
What you've
Scott.
You've done for the workplace, what you've done just by being the redwood trees of our scene.
Redwood trees, yeah, got me.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, Jesus.
We'd do a commercial break if we could, but unfortunately we still don't have.
I still can't run commercials.
I was a little drunk at this point in time.
Hey man, I can't believe you killed the DX Racer. Those are so good chairs.
DX Racer, folks.
Hold on, mic this. Tyler, mic this.
I'm comfortable. Wait, no, I'm actually.
Should we keep going after this?
Yeah, next call.
Next call. All right, let's do the next call.
Way more to do here.
Oh, God. And you'll also appreciate the producers here. Just look at the nameplate. So I'm on the ground. There's Sean Day9 Plot. And the producer amazingly just takes it out. Boom. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, Geoff was just really fast. Oh my God. Oh. It's just so weird. It's just so abrupt. I love Shark People said, may I suggest iNcontroL describing artosis? Oh, that's a good moment. You know, I got a story. While we're getting that clip, I have a story. So in, let's see, in WCG 2004, 5, and 6 in America, I went second, first, second. And I was training really hard for 2007 WCG USA. And I wound up being unable to go, just due to the fact that, you know, my final year of college. And Geoff won that year. And I remember being so frustrated and so mad because I was like, what? Geoff won? I'm better than that. I'm a better Zerg. I was just like huffy about it for actually some years, right? I would just be like, oh, it's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. Oh my gosh. When I was younger, I sort of had this like, you know, you know, you know how in like the Revolutionary War, when like the Britons would just line up and shoot, and the Americans were just like, fuck that, I'm gonna hide behind a tree, and they were like, that's dishonorable. I was the English, okay, that was me. Where I was like, you know, like the proper way to play Zerg is these long, evolving, like 20-30 minute games. You gotta like really win in the late game and that sort of style. And Geoff was absolutely the cheesiest human being alive. Like in that turn, he like cranked it up to 11. I've never gotten so many grumpy ass messages after that. Like, oh, Geoff, we built a spire and then he went lurkers. It's such bullshit. Right? So he wins. Essentially, okay, so for any of you who don't know Zerg vs. Terran in Brood War, 99% of the time, you go Zerglings into Mutalisks, which is a flying unit. And then you use your Mutalisk control to go into the next stages of the game, like 99% at this point. And there are, like, that's considered the standard. Now, you can go Lurkers, and Lurkers is more of a powerful, robust ground unit. But the thing about a Lurker is that, like, it can't do what Mutalisks can do. You know what the best part of a Mutalisk is? It can run away. It can just run away. That's why it's considered the standard thing. You can choose whatever engagements that you want, because if things get a little hairy, you can run away. You can run away. And Geoff just never wanted to learn Mutalisk Micro by his own admission. Like, even if you watch the Brood War Holiday Bash from 2017 that he played in, he's like, no, my Mutalisk Micro sucks. I go Lurkers. Like, so the thing is, what's weird is that he would do this opening, this known Ling Lurker opening that, like, by all accounts is bad, but, like, for whatever reason, during that period of time, some players, obviously in Korea, started to do this thing where they build a spire and a Hydra Den, which are the two buildings that let you build those units. They build both of them, and if the Terran scouted and saw both, they don't really know what you're doing. Or if they scout just the spire, they get surprised by the Lurkers. And I think Geoff, I mean, I wasn't there, I couldn't go to the tournament, but, like, Geoff did this, like, essentially every game against Terran players. It just kept fucking winning, and these players were, like, so grumpy, and I was grumpy afterwards. It's like, oh, I could have won that game. Oh, I better Zerg vs. Zerg to Geoff and all this stuff. And I remember many, many years later when I finally, like, let that shit go. Because this is not like some $10 million first place thing, right? This is not like the international or something. Like, first place was like $1,500 or whatever. So, a few years later, it's me and Geoff and Dan. We're hanging out having drinks, and I always go cheers. Oh, cheers, you know, clanking. And Geoff goes, cheers to Dan being the only person here to have not won a WCG USA. It's just so unnecessary and mean. And that's gonna bring us into this thing. All right, let me. Who is Artosis?
Yeah, no, I had a question. Who's Artosis?
What? Is that serious?
Can I answer that, JP?
Sure. Yes, you can. Sir.
All right. Listen, many millennia ago, there was this fatter, uglier toad that made it out of the water, and it humped the shit out of this Jewy grasshopper thing that only ate grass, and that is actually where the ancestors of Artosis came, and they ate their grass. They complained about everything. Why can't we eat meat? Everyone's too much stronger than us.
Artosis is
eating
vegetarian.
grass. And over the millennia, they developed into kind of like vultures, but they didn't eat meat either. They ate the shit and grass of everybody else that they walked on and shat on. And eventually, fast forward, a whole bunch of boring, whining, complaining, blah, imba world, terrible. Why is my joints hurt all the time? But now, we have our tosis. Now, tosis is the most famous 2004/5 third or fourth place perennial WCG runner-up for the United States of America. And then he later grew into the second greatest English commentator in Korea. And now
There's only two. There's only two in Korea.
Best white player in Korea. Now, Team Liquid's brought over a whole bunch of white guys, but Artosis he's that moss that grows on the tree that lets you know where the sun is. He's that.
I'm not sure how you come up with something like that quickly. It's just like, oh my god. God, I just love that he grew up to be the second best English caster in Korea when there were only two. Like, that's just so funny. Oh my god. God, and Geoff would just be so inappropriate on broadcasts constantly. For someone whose name is iNcontroL, I mean, Geoff was absolutely out of control. It was so... I remember at the StarCraft 2 launch events, it's those things where I'm like, okay, well, I thought it, but I'm not going to say it. And then Geoff would say it, and I'd be like, oh, you're not supposed to say that! Like, oh my god. Oh, gosh. Bliss Love says, may I share a picture of Geoff and I? I'd love it. I'd love it. It's just so, I'm just so sad. There's so few people I can, that have that shared experience. There's a lot of people, a lot more people in StarCraft 2, but like in Brood War, it's hardly any, God. It's just so surreal, too. Because it was all just so sudden. He was just doing shows and hanging out, tweeting, and then just overnight, yeah, he was literally live the night before. It's just weird because Geoff lives within walking distance of me. Like 2 or 3 months ago, I was asking him if he'd be willing to teach me Warhammer 40k. I just got done with my 6 weeks of travel and was trying to find a weekend, He'd go out of town and I've taken care of his dog. It's, ugh. His little doggy Baristan is being taken care of. Yeah. God damn. Oh yeah, New Sunshine. That's a funny, weird story. JP McDaniel, who does the roleplay Dungeons and Dragons shows. Basically, JP started the whole notion of like roll or Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch. I mean, not started, but certainly was the main thing popularizing everything. And like, you know, JP worked at MLG with the StarCraft crew and just invited a bunch of his friends that he met through StarCraft, including Geoff, to like do those shows, and it just kept growing and growing from there. And there was a show, Court of Swords, that JP ran in his roleplay group. And I was going to be the next guest. I was going to replace Geoff. And I remember JP just messaged me that Geoff died, like right in the middle of a show, because Geoff's character had died. And I think I was live during that. Like, some of you probably even remember that, right? I had to stop and be like, okay, oh my god. Whew, okay, all right. It's false alarm, everyone. False alarm. Like, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, so weird. McNamee has found the pic he took with me when I got to MLG Anaheim in 2013. Holy shit. Yeah. So we got any Geoff pics? Gosh, that's so weird. Yeah, there's the Hilton right there. If you go up and around this way, there's pizza. Some Bliss Love pics. Yeah. Wow, this must have been an old ass one. I remember those lanyards. I remember this Team Liquid shirt. I mean, Bliss Love, this must have been 2008 or 9. Like, when was this? Was this pre-StarCraft 2? Yeah, 2009. Damn, I'm so good. I can fucking call out the year based on a lanyard. Yeah, Elite Sarge. Yeah, Elite Sarge is bringing up the fact that Geoff was also a top Warhammer 40,000 player. Yeah, I think he was like ranked 6th or something in the rankings right now. Yeah, I mean, for as much as people know about Geoff as a, you know, real-time strategy player, he like I think he really loved turn-based games a ton. Like I remember going out to dinner with him, and I was like, "Hey, dude, how's your day been?" And he was like, "Well, I've just gotten done playing XCOM for 12 hours, and kind of want to go home and play XCOM till I fall asleep, and then get up and play XCOM for 12 hours." And I was like, "That's a good feeling." Yeah, I mean, he just did like an insane amount of XCOM 2 runs. Delthea says Geoff found a way to turn his passion into a career just like you, Day 9. It's so weird that we both did the Brood War to StarCraft 2 casting. We played more StarCraft 2. I pretty much went to casting immediately. And then into streaming full time and doing other things. Yeah. Fear Dragon says he was a good fucking soul. Yeah. I think Geoff could be... I think prickly might be the right word. He could get a little prickly. I actually remember a few times where I got into big ol' arguments with Geoff. I even remember getting... I remember what it was. But he got mad at someone and posted something mean, and I got mad at Geoff and I fucking called him on Skype and yelled at him. And he was mad, so he yelled back. And I remember somehow the call ended. I had this moment where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I just called him back and I was just like, dude, I'm sorry, I just fucking called screaming like I just, you know. Then you shared something you wasn't supposed to or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just remember calling back. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that. You know, this sort of expectation. Because like the times when I get really mad, I can sort of get back to myself pretty quickly. But in my experience, if the other person's mad, then they're gonna take some time to cool down. But Geoff just like instantly was like, Sean, I appreciate it so much that you just are calling back to try to diffuse this. You know, and I'm so grateful is one of the things I really appreciate about you. I mean, it's just like literally on a dime, just turned. And I just turned it into a really squishy, pleasant, bro love kind of conversation. For whatever prickliness was there, he was just a very sweet, squishy guy. Yeah, I mean, I've just gotten just a lot of really nice stories from people about people who were not casters or players, just literally viewers in the community, just like talking to Geoff and like sharing that stuff that they were going through. And he would just give all sorts of people the time. Very low ego person. Priscilla says, I knew Geoff all the way back when he worked at the GameStop in Clackamas, Oregon. God damn. Despite all the weepiness I have, this is helping. This is helping. Thank you a lot for just letting me go live and kind of burble about this, you know. Ugh. I really wish I had tissue. You know, we're just gonna leave it in the frame. Strophium said, spoke to Idra way back at a tournament after beating iNcontroL. He said he was really proud of iNcontroL. He said he was an inspiration, that with enough practice and dedication, even a refrigerator can be good at StarCraft 2 as long as they play Protoss. I don't know what it is about a lot of those StarCraft guys. There's a really weird dynamic, I think, because like if you're not one of the, you know, the crew, like if Nick makes fun of me, I'm like ha 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 ha. If Dan makes fun of me, I'm like ha 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 ha. If someone else makes fun of me, Nick and Dan are like, what the fuck, man? Fuck off, right? You know, it's this real, you know, fun ribbing of each other, but like a real, you know, protectionist. I think protectionist is the wrong word. You know what I mean. I like tribal. Udas, I like the tribal. Yeah, like brothers, man. Sorry, I can't read everything people are writing. My vision's quite blurry today. You know, there's your blood family, you know, and there's members of my family I really like, and there's members of family that I don't like. There's members of my family that I don't really even talk to that much. And then there's, like, you know, your chosen family. And I think that, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about chosen family, they're referring to, like, you know, close friends or relationships. But I think there's something that's, like, really special about gaming communities, you know. For me, just the StarCraft community. Like, there are a lot of, like, absolutely ridiculous people in the history of the StarCraft community, you know. But it's like you still just care about it so much, you know. It's the thing that you just kept opting into, you know. And I remember that feeling when... So for the StarCraft Remastered launch, I had a bunch of work before then. And they asked, Sean, would you be available on these dates to be part of a StarCraft 2 Remastered launch event? It was being run by some people at Twitch, and I mean, I just wasn't getting any information. You know, I wasn't getting a call sheet. I wasn't getting a schedule. I wasn't getting any information at all. Like, I got an address, right? Like, like the kind of shit that you'd be like, oh yeah, if someone did this to you on Tinder, that's definitely a scam. You're gonna get killed and they're gonna sell your organs, right? like this is for the StarCraft 2 Remastered. I'm sorry, this is for the Brood War Remastered, StarCraft 1 Remastered. Like, this event is the least amount of information I'd ever received for any event in my life. They just gave me an address, and I remember I was in a cab driving to this place in downtown San Francisco, because I live in Oakland, and I just remember just being like, I don't know if I'm just going to walk in there and it's going to be an empty, dark building and I'm going to go, okay, time to go home, like, tell the cab to wait out front. And I remember walking in there, and it was Draco, the Polish player, Rhett, Dutch player, Nyokin, an American player, who we'd butt heads in a lot of WCG events. It's just all these players that I'd, like, grown up with, And there was my brother, and there was Dan, and there was Geoff. And I bring up that statement of chosen family because, like, it's just... It just felt, you know... Just felt like a home. Yeah, I mean, I think that gaming communities really connect people in ways I think like isn't even like fully understood yet. I don't know. Yeah, just all the people in the community talking about you know what Geoff means to them as a person. But I've never met him, you know, and stuff like that. I think that's something that's really special about just games and live streaming that I don't know if you do this, but like you know, when I'm done with my work day, which happens to be streaming, but we'll ignore that for now. When I'm done with my work day, I walk away from my computer, and then I go start cooking dinner, and I generally cook dinner and do dishes at the same time. But I always like put one of my usual streams on, and I mean it's like so comforting just to have on, to have there. You know, I feel like it's like hanging out with a friend, but I don't actually have to do any work. Like that person on the screen is just taking care of all the effort and the interesting conversation, all that. Ugh. It's yeah, I'm just old one says I've had your stream on in the background for literally a decade at this point for those reasons. Yeah. I just find this experience to be just so surreal, so sad. What just an absolute force of nature. I mean, he basically like muscled his way into careers that didn't exist, like repeatedly. That's just remarkable. You know, and he was wanting to do stand-up comedy, and I'm sure it would have been similar to his other endeavors, where he would have maybe fallen flat on his face, gotten very little positive feedback, and just kept shoving forward until he was excellent at it. He'd be a very cheesy comedian. Fuck. So many dad jokes. Yeah, I want to get some dad jokes. Hi Pies, when was the first time you considered each other friends? It's like, this is what I'm having just a hard time with Night Pie, because, like, you know, I have my traditional friends that, you know, I'll call fairly frequently or go out to lunch and things like that, and gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like almost every single person in the StarCraft community. It's like I incidentally wind up seeing them more than a lot of people I try to maintain friendships with in real life, just due to, you know, the nature of event work and what am I talking about? Yeah, just due to the nature of event work and, you know, doing sponsored whatevers, and it's hard to describe because, like, you know, the way a friendship works is normally it's like a mutual opting in, but it's like, you know, with esports and games, you just are both opting into the game, and then it's I don't know if any of you have ever had like a really difficult project that you worked on with someone you didn't know very well. The usual layers of friendship that you need to work with, which is like, do we share, you know, do we like talking about the same things? Do we have the same temperament? If we both saw a movie, would we have an enjoyable conversation, or would we have a fight? You know, all that sort of shit. Like, instead, the experience of the thing that you did is what connects you, and it is in and of itself compelling and interesting. Like, I can hang out with Geoff and just talk about a shitload of stuff. It's almost like we crafted a friendship out of the work that we cared about. Oh, that's a good idea, Crayson. I don't even know what game I'm on. I just went live. Yeah, let's go to the StarCraft 2 directory. Let's update that. I don't know. The first day I heard about the news, I don't think I cried. I actually, my brain kind of shut off. I was a little more weepy on Sunday. Just being able to talk about it feels like the only the first opportunity I've had to actually feel it. We got a picture from Geth Overlord. This is from the last BlizzCon. Oh, God. Yeah, look at that fedora on Geth Overlord. Yeah, fuck yeah, Geth Overlord. Oh my God, and Jadong posted about him too. I think that, like, because I've had loved ones die in the last 10 years where I've been regular, or I've been a regular streamer, and I felt more composed, you know. My grandparents died, and I was really sad, but, you know, I was able to, like, do show. I was able to like do the stream. There's like a boundary there, you know. I think that just what makes this so difficult is I don't know, there's a sense of safety in large gaming communities, really tight-knit gaming communities. And when something like this happens, it's like, you know, we're I don't know, it feels like there's not enough separation, you know, like I watch a ton of StarCraft and StarCraft 2 streams, and it's like so hard to just like open it up and just watch, you know, Hero Marine playing this morning. Man. Yeah, I haven't gotten the chance to talk to Nick or Dan yet. Nick called me this morning and I totally whiffed it. Yeah, I gotta call Mick back, man. Whiffed it? How? No, I had my phone on silent. Very few people call me. Just there for the rewards, as if you need to, just take a break. I appreciate that. And also just there for the rewards, I haven't responded to a lot of the comments you've made. There's just a lot of stuff going past, but I really appreciate your thoughtfulness. For me, it's all... I think for me, streaming and talking about it it's almost the only way I know how to process it, you know? I would actually go insane if I was like, alright, hey, how's it going, everyone? Let's play a game. You know, it's just a little close. So, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm very sad. I've talked about this before, that's a phrase I've been thinking about a lot in the last year. The phrase, I'm okay. Because when I was younger, I would think that the phrase, I'm okay, means that you don't feel the negative emotion. You don't feel angry, you don't feel sad. You feel good. Or you feel at least nothing, right? That's, I'm okay. But I like to think that there's a little pilot in the brain that's just managing Sean's body and my thoughts and my words and things like that. And sometimes when emotions get really intense, it's easy for those emotions to start becoming the pilot of me, you know. It's difficult to handle that amount of intensity, you know. And in that regard, I'm very sad, but I'm okay. I can be both sad and be okay at the same time. So in that sense, I'm obviously very sad, but I'm comfortable with the amount of sad that I feel, you know. You know, I think I've told the story before. A few years ago, my grandfather was dying. He had cancer of some sort. And it had been sort of a long, slow process. And he I think he was 96 or 97. He has good genes, except for the hair genes. He gave me the balding genes. Still mad at him for that, but that's fine. I'm going to buy a hair transplant later. But he was... Either way, it was his time. And I remember going there to see my grandfather. It was clear that it was going to be his last few days, and he was in hospice care. And it was to the state where, you know, he wasn't even really able to, he just wasn't even conscious. He was just sitting there, just sort of heaving. And it wasn't the quiet breath that you think of if someone is unconscious or sleeping. You know, it was, the body was just gasping for air. It was gruesome, you know. And I remember I just, you know, sat there, just staying awake, just waiting. And it was this weird mix of agony and boredom, you know. Just being so sad and so stressed, and then nothing happening for like an hour, but that breathing. And I remember my brother, who'd flown out from Korea at the same time, he just said to me, "Hey Sean, listen, we haven't eaten in like 20 hours, so let's go get some food." And I was like, okay. So we went to Chipotle Mexican Grill, and I got a double wrapped chicken burrito with black beans and white rice, mild sour cream, a little bit of cheese, and guacamole. Don't need that lettuce. Get those greens the fuck out of my burrito. And I got that smoked pepper sauce, that smoked chipotle Tabasco sauce. I got a Corona, and I sat down, and I bit into that burrito, and that is maybe the best bite of anything I've ever had. I just couldn't believe how tasty it was, you know. I just couldn't even believe it. You know, in the midst of all that agony and boredom and sadness and trying to cope, and you're just mired in badness and bad feeling, that I went over there, and the food that I enjoy still tasted great. It still tasted incredible. And it was at that moment that I just remember thinking, like, it's going to be okay, you know. This is sad, and I'm sad, but all the wonderful things that are there in the world are still there, and they're still wonderful, you know. Yeah. It just fucking struck me, man. Yeah, so this is actually a framing that I heard very recently. It might have been like a week ago. That you know how you know the phrase self-care, practice self-care. You gotta take care of yourself. Practice self-care. That's what you gotta make sure you take care of yourself. You know, I live in the Bay Area, where especially a lot of people talk about self-care. It's very important to do self-care. And it feels a little bit like the phrase that you append to some terrible fucking advice that you were going to say anyways. A lot of people just wield this phrase horribly. They're like, oh, he didn't offer to share dessert with you? Well, just dump him on the spot. You got to practice self-care. Shit like this, where you're like, that's crazy. You know, and even trying to understand what for each person what self-care means, because I remember there were periods of time where I just didn't feel good, and so I would try to relax. I would try to do passive activities like watching TV and try to sleep more, maybe take a nap, things like that. But I felt, you know, itchy. You know, I'm someone, I have a lot of energy, so I kind of need to expend a lot of energy. You know, like when your dog's upset and you got to walk the dog, right? You got to walk the Sean. I got to do something more intense and something like that. And I started to learn the things that were actually helpful for me to make me feel better. And just recently, someone just phrased it perfectly, which was that, taking care of yourself is about returning to the things that bring you joy. And just think of it in that context, like if I'm really sad, what are things I really enjoy? Well, I mean, I love stupid little projects that have no purpose other than to just occupy my time and occupy my brain and have really obnoxious problems to them that kind of suck me in. Frankly, rereading books that I really like. I know I'm supposed to read new things. No, I'm going to read Dresden Files again, which is yet another thing that Geoff and I talked a lot about. Certain foods that I enjoy, really enjoy doing those. I don't know why I just found it was so cleanly stated. A return to the things that bring you joy. Dallas Sooner says, also, I just finished book 2 of the Dresden Files. Does it get better because I'm Superman? Book 2 is bad. Book 3 is insanely good. So I just read it in one shot on an airplane trip to Hong Kong. So, but yeah, just the return to things that bring you joy. Because there's the types of things that I'll do when I'm sort of in a daze. I'll just put streams on. I'll endlessly refresh Reddit. I'll put on The Office because that show's just always pretty good. And I let myself do that. I let myself do that a lot yesterday. I just kind of sat there. I didn't do anything. But I've been trying to make myself do more things I enjoy. I've been building some terrible decks in Magic the Gathering, and I want to let you know it's a little harder to play Magic under the circumstances, but don't worry. I've just hit a break point. You can't lose stars at this rank. I've been really interested in being super healthy. You guys know I've been talking about that on air. Not doing it. I went and got myself a prosciutto panini with pesto, mozzarella, and tomatoes because that brings me great joy. Yeah. So I hope for all of you that are having a hard time, I hope you take time to be diligent about taking care of yourself, Oh, gosh. You made sure to stay hydrated. That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna hold on. Stay here. I'm back, and I'm really thirsty. Oh my god. iNcontroL did some impressions of you and your brother. Oh fuck, we're gonna need to watch this. This is gonna hurt. Alright, here we go.
For people that missed out on that video, I'll just do it for you right now.
So, okay, guys, this is Nick Tasteless Plot here. I'm with Dan Artosis Timkowski. Yeah, so we're going to be commentating BlizzCon. We're so excited. We're so stoked. This is going to be so great. Super rad. Dan, your thoughts? Oh, I can't wait. StarCraft Go RSOS. That's right, Nick, or Dan. So yeah, tune in. It's going to be happening this next weekend.
Did you just do a Canadian accent for Nick?
That's Nick's like, I'm talking to other humans caster voice. It's so fucking funny. The whole plot family, like every time we hang out, like after the event, there's like Nick who's like shambling through a bar like at the hotel. He's like, hey, get over here, have some drinks with us. And he's like, Sean, I love you, brother. And Sean's like, fuck yeah, Nick, what's up, dude? And then you're like, oh my god, there's a camera, and you like shine it on him, and Nick's like, he's like, oh hey, it's so great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to make more content. When I get home and my wrist is healthy, I'll actually stream too. Check me out at Tasteless TV. Sean, your thoughts? And Sean's like, I'm so excited to be here. Everything's so great. StarCraft people here. I'm on 2 panels tomorrow, which is 2 more than I think I deserve. And you pull the camera back, and they just like shrink back down. It's like water on the gremlins from that fucking. Anyway, so I fucking hate methamphetamines. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not normal shit. Oh my god. Dan, by the way, in case you're wondering, is exactly the same, camera or off camera. Like, you are getting Artosis.
I'm pretty close. I don't like to use extra energy pretending to do anything else.
And if you're wondering, I can make fun of Nick on my show because he doesn't watch, so don't worry. It's not. I'm totally safe. Our friendship's fully intact.
Oh, it hurts because it's true.
I love those guys. They're great. Yeah, so that'll be next week. We'll do another. Dan's gonna do another show about it.
Yeah. Oh god. You know that comment about Nick's wrist being fucked up, his wrist is finally getting better. His wrist broke and it was misdiagnosed as a sprain, and so it just stayed broken for like 8 months, like some incredibly long amount of time, until he went to a different doctor that was like, oh no, your wrist is broken. And then so they had to like do the rearrange the wrist thingy, and that's why he was in a splint for a lot of those StarCraft things. Yeah, he's just gotten some injections of something. I assume it's smaller wrists. I assume that what they do is they find someone who's committed a crime and they just chop them off, starting at the palm and then to the forearm, and they just like grind that up in a blender and inject it into Nicholas. I think that's the way it works, but his hand's finally doing better. Maybe it was just pain medication. I don't know. Or it was a blender of criminal wrist. Oblivious Moggs says, Dan, I just want to let you know that listening to Geoff, you, and all the other usuals of the State of the Game podcast had a huge impact on me in my late youth. Bigger than you can imagine. All this is heartbreaking. I'm just really sorry. Yeah. I can't believe I did 100 episodes of that. Yeah, so does anyone have any good clips from the Holiday Bash? Yeah, does anyone have any good clips from that? Let me watch that. It's kind of amazing the things that Geoff was able to achieve. You know? I mean, from playing Brood War competitively to then StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 casting. Warhammer. Oh god, we got some good stuff in here. Oh my god, Time Bones. Oh my god, I gotta how do we get time bones up here? All right, let's get there. All right, by the way, there's the. All right, story time. There's 2 times that I've gotten like floods of comments that I can remember right now. I was gonna say the most, but like they were too unusually large distribution of comments. 'Cause normally people don't even fucking talk to me. But once when I was doing a Fun Day Monday, I asserted that dinosaurs aren't real, and I was like, I'm certain of this. Those paleontologists don't know shit, right? And I just got like 100 angry messages that were like, dinosaurs are very clearly real. There's all this stuff, and I was like, on the comedy show where I'm ridiculous, that's after like 25 episodes, that's the one. And the other one was in this thing where I wore my flip-flops because this is the state of California, and so people wear flip-flops. Like, apparently, I didn't realize this, but like wearing flip-flops elsewhere is considered grotesque, right? It would be as though I just had like a cadaver's arm in my lap, right? It's considered appalling. I got like feels like, damn, like actually sent email. Like my business partner Eric was like, Sean, I gotta let you know I've been receiving a lot of complaints about your foot. And I'm like, complaints about my foot? He's like, yeah. He doesn't sound this gruff, but whatever. So I said, what are they saying? And he's like, well, they don't want to see it, and it's just a lot of different spellings of blech. Oh god. Yeah, I gotta. Let's listen to some of this. All right, so you'll notice in day 1 I wore flip flops, but after that I did not wear flip flops.
11:45, I think.
Guys, confirmation.
Did you just pull that out of the air? How did you do that?
Did he nail it though? Because that's a.
Is it 11:43?
God,
I'm
good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
now is there a
hang
clock
on.
he was looking at?
Exactly. Check the clocks.
The clock is
thing.
there's no clocks here.
It's right there.
Like you just know it?
I just know it.
He's the Rain Man.
I have these special skills.
It's 11:45. Like he was
threw
2 minutes
blades
off.
of grass into the wind. I feel the time in my bones, man. I just know these things.
Jeez.
Oh, good old Nicky Time Bones Blood.
That's what they call me.
Time bones.
Time bones.
Can we call you that?
Time bones.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
that's fine.
That's actually a gangster.
That's Time Bones is my time traveling supervillain name. So it's funny that you said that. No, it's
Nick's gonna be in
We've
some
got to
Korean
go back
prison.
and stop Time Bones. He's gonna go back and stop all these sports from ever happening.
Oh, Chaos Caster.
Chaos Caster. Well, that's who Time Bones is. Time Bones went back in time to become Chaos Caster and ruin.
Oh my god, and he has Chaos Caster right here.
Well, just joke
Oh
that
my
this is driving
God,
my head.
yes,
It's like
I
a
was-
guy. It's an evil caster, okay, and he hates esports, and he's here only to cast destroy esports at the core.
That's me,
okay.
man.
And I'm just out there, and I'm like, kind of talk like the Joker, and I'm like casting like a shooting game, and I'm like, oh, an open field. You must make good shotguns on this map, and all the people watching the stream are like, no, Chaos Caster. Super Shooter 2 has a great community and an awesome meta if you just learn our game.
No, you told me about this, but the way you did it is that you would be talking in a normal voice, and then you go down into this gravelly hell.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
where
right.
it's just like, oh, this map with an open field, of course, a very popular map, and it's a great map to get shotguns.
You wouldn't want sniper rifles here.
Yeah, I know. No, it's not the meta. You get sniper rifles here. Like just and of course, Chaos Caster. He's the commentator. He's the voice of
He's
the
the
game.
voice, and he can't be stopped. He's too powerful. He's evil.
This needs to be a
But
series.
I love that. I love that play with a shotgun. Well, just joke.
Oh my
This is
God,
driving
yeah.
By the way, in case you guys didn't know, this is there's actually
It's like 11.
oh my god, how many hours footage? There's like maybe 24 hours of this. What's all the love
I think
for
there's
Geoff?
some more over there actually on the ground.
We got this iNcontroL stand-in right here.
Oh, shit.
It looks just like
That's
him,
a
actually.
control stunt double right
Same
there.
type of horns and everything.
Let me see this thing. Yeah, that's basically it. I'll take that.
It's hilarious.
Watch out, I'm going to get lurkers up your ass.
Here I come. You left your base. They're coming in now. I have 2. I'm splitting them up so you can't scan them all. We'll put him right here. His hair and spirit. I think Geoff is warming up somewhere. Here we go.
Oh my God.
There he is.
Oh, it's in control. Wow.
What would he say right now if he was here?
Jeff?
I think Geoff would do his breathy laugh.
He'd be like this. He'd be like, I don't think this match is going to be close at all. And we'd be like, thanks, Geoff.
Well, I think there's some more over there, actually.
Oh my God! Does anyone have Nick and Dan doing jokes? Oh my God! Artosis in control jokes. Let's see here. Reading jokes. What about jokes Zotac? Yeah, this is... Oh.
What's up, guys? This is Geoff iNcontroL Robinson with Dan Artosis Stemkowski. We are doing a dad joke segment.
I like to take a lot of inspiration from Geoff iNcontroL Robinson right now and explain the dad joke rules. Nick and I will read terrible dad jokes to each other, and whoever laughs, the other person gets a point. We did not write them.
We did not write them. We take no responsibility.
The goal is to not laugh. So this is going to suck. These are so bad. Yeah, that's a point. It's fine.
All right.
They're really bad.
Who does the Pharaoh talk to when he's sad?
This is so up your alley. Go ahead.
Am I just going to win?
Yeah.
His mummy.
Oh, that was terrible.
I dreamed last night I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted.
I still find it funny.
What do you call police officers in bed?
What?
An undercover cop.
So stupid.
I saw it hit you. You went from straight face to just being struck.
I'm trying my best.
Why did the blind man fall into a well? Because he didn't see that well.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
Fish.
Yeah, you got it. That's correct.
We suck at this.
I know.
I was totally ready to be straight face. Go ahead.
What did the ocean say to the airplane?
Well, hopefully nothing.
Nothing, it just waved.
What do you call a strawberry that likes to spin?
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I'll say it again. I had to read it twice. So I'm like, what? What do you call a strawberry that likes to spin?
What?
A berry-go-round.
I gotta say, the setups are universally funnier than the punchlines.
What was the buffalo's last word to his kid?
Oh, God.
These are depressing.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Bye, son.
I got fired from my job at the keyboard factory today. Apparently, I wasn't putting in enough shifts. How? How is that? There it is.
How does a dog stop a video?
How?
He hits the pause button.
That's good. All right.
It's not good.
No, that's a good one. That's
Is
good.
it a good one?
Yeah, because
Is
like
it a good
pause
one?
and pause.
Yeah,
Pause, and
okay.
then hit it with their pause.
Nick, I hurt myself while hanging out with Mickey Mouse. Do you know where I hurt myself?
I'm like, no, what did Mickey Mouse do to you, Sean? This is getting really dark. What did Mickey do to my brother? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's just get it out.
Okay.
Let's get it out.
Okay.
Do you...
Damn.
You gotta shut up.
I don't know, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Do you know where I hurt myself?
No.
Disney.
Oh my god.
That is bad.
What's more amazing than a talking dog?
A dead cat.
Like what?
Oh, God.
Talking dog. It's a spelling bee.
That was a 2-point swing right there. I got 2 points for that. That was sick.
What is the best day to cook on? Friday. He delivered that so sternly. It was like a conviction passed down from a judge. Guilty. Friday. Did you ever hear about that new movie, Constipation? No, because it never dropped. Oh, that's just a good joke.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. That's so sad. And so funny. Jesus. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, just watching videos. Yeah, let's look at some other ones. Oh, this is from SC2 Highlights. This is perfect.
Song that I liked was Jadong, I guess, beating out Golden to make it out of the group. Sure. I don't even have any analysis. I'm just completely in love with it.
Well, it's really good to see you still doing so well. Artie.
That was some great input from iNcontroL first.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to follow something like that up, but I'm going to try to say something at least as substantial. This tournament is about Todd as far as I'm concerned at this point, okay? This guy, he is a pro gamer that, like, he was a legend in Warcraft 3. He came to StarCraft 2 and has been kind of mediocre-ish to good. You know, he's had some good results, made Premier League and stuff. But the thing is, he's been commentating a lot recently. And, you know, that's like something, sometimes pros take a step back. They're like, you know, maybe I'm going to try this commentary thing a little bit. You know, I got to make some money, and I still love the game, maybe I'm not doing as well as I should. You know, and...
Wow.
Whoa! But Todd
Wait a
is
second. I'm pretty sure you as well tried to keep playing competitive.
I think what we can really, I think what we can really take away from this today is, had the rest of us signed up for this tournament and played in it, my God, the results would have been different.
There'd be no Koreans left.
There would be no Koreans
Based on
left.
Artosis, I too have a different answer.
And possibly subpar commentary.
Nick, please. All right. Let me add more substance to mine. Jadong is a player who's been struggling recently. We all know that he's one of the best players ever, but now he's in the round of 16.
I'm glad all the practicing mimes at home now understand what you said.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, Jeff's McDonald's story. Let's do it. Let us do it. Let's go over to Jeff's McDonald's story. Oh, my God, that was so funny. Oh. God.
Is it McDonald's? Okay.
Is it truly McDonald's story time? It's a little early.
I'm a little bit nervous because the second I start telling it, Tilo's gonna be like, he's dying, or no, oh my God.
Tilo just turned Eastern European.
Super Russian, I guess.
Dr. Dario could be a little Eastern European.
Let me see. All right. Should I do it? We built up the story too much. It's not
No,
actually.
no, no. You build it up.
Like I did not.
I have
teased it on stream. He goes, I'm not going to tell it. Jeff will tell it. And then I get like 40 tweets from people like, hey, what's the story?
I know. I browsed Team Liquid. I was like, hey, I wonder what they thought about this sick game. It's like, hey, did iNcontroL tell the McDonald's story yet? It's like, guys, let's talk about StarCraft a little bit. And I'm like walking through the venue over here. I'm like gonna go outside, or I walk to the bar or something. Someone's like, hey man, can you tell me the McDonald's story? It's like, no, I just want to get a water or a wasser.
All right. I think we got time.
I think we have a little bit of time.
So it's day one, right? And let me tell the story.
Yeah.
So it's day one. The whole
I've
day
never seen this
passed.
clip.
We're really tired. A lot of us are jet lagged. We casted all day. We didn't have a chance to eat for most of the day because the passion just kind of overtook us. We were down here casting the whole time or playing poker and ripping off Koreans. The whole day was just going by. And at the end, grumpy old American iNcontroL was like, gosh, I'm really hungry, guys. We got to go. And it's late at night in Crefeld, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Crefeld shuts down at about 7 p.m. because most of the city is filled with old people. So that's when they go to sleep. So there's nothing open, really, except for kebabs and McDonald's, maybe. And we're like, you think we can go to McDonald's? We had a driver, and he's like, yeah, you guys can go to McDonald's. We're like, okay, let's go to McDonald's. And we're driving there, and the whole time, we're like, no way, it's 1 a.m., there's no chance it's open. Absolutely not. But we're getting closer and closer. We pull up to a street corner adjacent to the McDonald's, and it's like, it's pretty dark, but there's a couple of lights on. And we look at it and we go, no fucking chance. No way. No way in hell. And our driver, Armin, goes, no, I think so. I think it's open. He's like, okay. So we pull closer, and he does something that to this day none of us understand, but it makes for a legendary moment in time. Instead of pulling up to the McDonald's, he stops in front of it. He turns around, he looks at us, and he goes, what do you guys want? And we're like, Armin, is it open? And he goes, yeah, it's open, guys. What do you want? And in this moment of vulnerability, our dreams gushed forth from all of us because we were like so hungry and tired. And we're at this glorious McDonald's. And I was like, all right, Armin, I want 5 cheeseburgers. And he's like, you want 5 cheeseburgers, Geoff? I go, yeah, I want 5 cheeseburgers and a Big Mac. And he's like, you can have it.
Before we go on, before we go on, I do want to say this is actually true. Geoff is not saying this for the story. He truly wanted 5 cheeseburgers.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank
and a Big Mac.
Because I would lie and cut back. I actually said 20 cheeseburgers. No, it was 5. It's quite a bit. I would have had a heart attack and died. But then he asked the other people. He's like, Destiny, what do you want? Destiny's like, I just want a bottle of water. He goes, you can have it. Funka's in the back, and he goes, Funka, you want ice cream? And Funka's like, yeah, I want ice cream. And he goes, do you want chocolate on it? And he goes, I'll have chocolate, okay? And he's like, Rotterdam, what do you want? Rotterdam's like, I'll have a menu and a Coke. Throw a Coke in there. And we're all like, yay. And he's like, okay, guys, let's go to McDonald's. And I don't know why he stopped to get our orders. Then he drives 7 feet forward, and the fucking McDonald's is pitch black, super close. Super close. Not even close. And we're like, Armin, what did you see that made you think this was open? And he's like, I don't know, guys. The light was kind of on. And we're like, Armin, you got our hopes up so freaking high. And he pulls up, and he's like, hello, is anyone in there? And he pulls up to the window, and he honks the horn. And the whole time we're like, Armin, no way, dude, no chance in hell. And we drove away, no McDonald's, because it was super freaking close. And that was the whole story.
It's a pretty good story, Geoff. Pretty good story.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just need a break. Oh my god. This is it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my god. Diggity's here and says Geoff started a little camp circa 2008 where he gathered up people to join in with prominent EG players. That led directly to Gosu coaching, which led to NASL, which led to MLG, and so on and so forth. Geoff didn't just cast, he was monumental in making the profession of casting, but all that is secondary to the fact that he was a dude with a huge heart who lived with a ton of energy and shared it with everyone around him. That is for sure. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I ever told you guys this. I don't know, there's a lot of stories that, like, here's one of the weirdest things about being a broadcaster. I talk about a lot of stuff on air, but I also broadcast, like, thousands of hours. So it's rare that any one person can hear any of these stories, but I remember it was October 22nd, 2009, which is when I started the Day 9 Daily, doing 5 StarCraft analysis shows a week. I think the first episode was like 35 minutes long. Something like this, just like a tiny, tiny amount. grew from there. StarCraft 2 was released in 2010. July 27th, I believe it was. Oh my god, interruption. TLO, Zombie Grub. Mwah. Hey everyone, we're having a commiseration party. Trying to be just talking a good amount about Geoff and stories and StarCraft. Yeah, I remember StarCraft 2 came out in July 27th, 2010. Or the 26th, I don't know. One of those two. And I, right after that launch event, I then went and worked at Gamescom with Apollo. Maybe it was before that. Sometime around then. Went to do ESL, and then all that this 2010, like, I was going to places weekend after weekend. I did a DreamHack. There was another ESL event. And I remember I got a call. It wasn't a call, it was an email. I'm sorry, I lied to you. I got an email from a group that was going to start the next big StarCraft-focused tournament circuit in North America. Because Korea had been the mecca of esports for ages. It was, they had 2 TV channels broadcasting the OnGameNet Star League and the NBC Star League, the MSL. And I mean, like, they were getting like millions of viewers and like had huge stadiums and huge stars and teams. And that was the inspiration for this new hot tournament circuit that was going to overtake North American esports. And it was called the North American Star League, NASL, which most people who have not played StarCraft 2 don't know what NASL is, but they may be familiar with the NASL sound guy, which is what you say whenever you're watching a broadcast and the audio is going to shit. And so if you ever wonder, what's the NASL sound guy? I came from the NASL. And I mean, like, I remember they reached out because they needed a broadcaster. And they needed a full-time broadcaster because they were going to do a proper circuit. It wasn't going to be these like one weekend tournaments. It was going to be like playing all throughout the week. So they needed a full-time broadcaster. And I mean, I remember I was absolutely wrought out. Like, I'm a pretty calm 33-year-old overall, but like how old was I then? That was 2010. What's 33 minus 9? It was 24. It was 24. And I mean, like, I got emails like, "Do you want to do it full time?" And I couldn't feel my legs. I was like, "Oh my god, this is a huge opportunity!" But I already have my own show, and I want to like finish grad school, and I like doing all these other tournaments. Like, what do I do? Oh my god! And I was wrought out about it. I lost sleep over it, and I generally don't lose sleep. I sleep like a fucking log, man. I was like, and I eventually said no to it. Eventually said no. And, you know, there's like, well, Sean, you've missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime. And like, I remember the first broadcast was iNcontroL and Geoff were doing some inaugural broadcast or something like this. And oh god, it fucking hurts to say out loud. I was so stressed leading up to it. I was so stressed. Oh my god. Like it was counting down. I mean, it's like when you're walking to an AP exam or some shit. I mean, it's like when you've texted someone, "Hey, we need to talk," because you think they're going to break up with you, and they read it, but they don't respond to it. Like that feeling, like, oh fuck. I remember counting down to it, and then like the broadcast went live, and like it was iNcontroL and it was Geoff, and frankly, they did great, but in terms of the production value, I mean, it was like a table. Like, when the broadcast began, I could see Geoff's knees. And there's little details that you, like, don't think about, right? Where you're just like, let me adjust this. The little details you don't think about. You don't associate professionalism with a lack of knees, right? But you just see it. I'm like, there's his knees. And, like, the camera was, like, tilted, like, 2 degrees. It was just, like, a little off. And, of course, one of the employees on this broadcast was the NASL sound guy. So, I mean, I remember seeing it and just being like, this is fine. And I remember, like, you know, internet communities were similar then to the way they are now, in which they were pretty savage throughout the whole thing. But I swear to God, Geoff was, like, optimistic and upbeat. Guys totally understand. I mean, Geoff took a fucking beating and was just dignified about the whole thing. It's kind of remarkable, the blend that Geoff had of just being, like, wildly inappropriate, but, like, having a real sense of, like, duty to, you know, dedicate to doing a good job. Oh man, is there a photo? Did someone post a photo? Honest. Oh my gosh, doing things live. Just said took this really crappy photo. You, Geoff, Dan, and Nick at MLG Raleigh back in 2010. Yeah. Look at this. Look at these studs here, man. You got Nick there. There's Dan. There's Geoff, there's me. Look at all that hair. Look at all that hair. Man. Looking good, man. Gotta get back to it. Oh my gosh. I remember, okay, so I'm just reminiscing at this point. I remember I was invited to cast at the finals of the NASL Season 1 that, you know, it's funny, like, in modern times, you have, you know, you just have these beautiful stadiums. Oh, like TI. Just this gorgeous production and lighting and, like, the augmented reality, like, characters, like, standing there doing their idle animations as the players pick them, and, like, huge effects for just relatively benign things. In-game kills getting displayed on the stage. Oh, it's amazing. NASL Season 1 was just in just a large empty warehouse, basically. I don't even know what it was. I think it was in the Ontario Convention Center. And there's this weird thing that happens, because I for a few years did a lot of, like, event production and event planning for StarCraft events. And when you, like, go order a banner, you know how if you, like, order an image on the internet, it's like, do you want a 7x9, an 11x9, or a 13x15? And you're like, I'll choose the middle option, right? When you're trying to purchase banners that have the logo, like North American Star League, to, like, hang up to make the event look sexy, you know, you might think that, like, you know, 15 feet is a lot, right? You might genuinely think that that's a pretty substantial amount of footage, but, like, they got a shitload of these posters. I mean, they must have gotten, like, 10, 15 of them, and they were like, oh yeah. So I mean, like, literally, you know what, let's get MS Paint for this, okay? Let's MS Paint. I did not type it in correctly. I mean, you'd have this, okay, where's my mouse? I mean, you'd have this, like, huge, enormous ceiling. That's not a straight line. You get this fucking huge, and I mean, like, for scale, like, here's a doorway, okay, and then here is where, like, the green room and staging begins, right? So this area is like a lot, and then, like, again, this whole area, this just continues out this way. And I remember they had, like, it was like this. Okay, it was like NASL, or just this fucking, it looked so tiny, it was so funny, man. It just came out like, I mean, seriously, imagine if this is like a huge gray wall, it's got like random pock marks and shit where like the concrete's like worn out, and like down here is just like this weird flash of blue, like right down there. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, you like that? Well, all right, hold on. We have to spread them out in the venue, okay? So let's just have another sad little one over here. All right, how do we tie this together? How do we tie this together? Well, you know what? You know what always really fills out of space in my mind? A trash can. It's just this fucking trash can over here. Okay, so we were like walking into this place and being like, oh my God. Like, oh shit, like this was and it got better as seasons went on, time went on, right? But like, you know, I remember like being there, and but it's so weird for me to say, but all esports nowadays just start on time. I have never attended a broadcast in the last like 5-6 years that didn't just start on time, just started on time. In like 2009, 10, 11, 12, it never started on time. I mean, it was like not even within an hour of the labeled starting time. I mean, normally it'd be like, it's going live at 10, and it would go live at noon, and everyone would be like, yay, hooray. And I remember, like, I think they had doors open at 10 or something like that, but like, okay, so I gotta do the flip side, because this was one of the walls, and there was the stage here. Maybe how do I mirror an image? It doesn't matter. Okay, imagine this mirrored on the other side, right? So like you can just hear like there's just noises coming out of this door, because like there's just more and more people packing up outside. It's like 10. It's like 10:30. It's like 11. It's starting to get close. It's starting to get close. Okay, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. And then, like, the projector that's on the ceiling, like the projector that's like way up here, like shining a light to this huge thing that's like over here, it falls from the fucking ceiling. It literally fell off the ceiling. I mean, you just hear it's like, and I was like, what? And like, I don't even know. I just heard a noise, and then like some time passed, and it's like 11:15, like 11:30, 11:45. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're just like, projector fell down. And so they literally, I think, delayed letting people in on day one on a Friday until like 5 p.m., like an insanely long time. But they couldn't get the projector correct. They actually couldn't get it set up correctly. Where's my mouse? All right, so this is not quite drawn to scale. Okay. So a projector needs to be adjusted and focused. It doesn't just work like that, right? And so the image of StarCraft wound up looking like this. Okay, so here's the projector, right? Here's the actual projector that has that nice white canvassing that you can actually see the image that's being displayed on it. Like, okay, like it was like we have like the minerals and the supply up here, and I'm deliberately drawing in this gray color because I'd like to remind you what is the color of this wall. Okay, it doesn't show up at all. Okay, where's the mini-map? Where's the mini-map? Well, guess what? It's like right down here. You could see just barely this like fucking corner of the mini-map, man. And like, and they just white knuckled through it, man. Just get through these games, right? So, on the internet, looks fine, right? It's broadcasting, but like in here, like you just had these weird things happening where there's like Marines here, and then you can't see these Marines, right? These are effectively invisible. So then you have some Zerglings. You have some Zerglings like this, and they like go off screen, and then you just hear that like horrific, just like, oh, like Marines dying, and the crowd's like, oh, like, and the entire event, can someone get me the GIF of Geoff trying to shake someone's hand after when the player doesn't see and he does that? If someone could get me that one. Or a GIF for any of you that didn't listen to the wishes of the creator of the format. Yeah, the day one was like, oh my god, this might be it, man. That might be it. They like might just pack up and go home. And then day two just went great. And day three was like super hype. Oh my god, the crowd was so hype. And I mean, like, shit, I closed my MS Paint drawing, but I mean, it was weird because the space was way too big. I mean, you probably could have packed like 15,000 people in this space just standing. And they had like a ton of chairs, but all the chairs were filled and people were standing. There were a few thousand people just like packed in the middle of this room. Oh, it was just so cool. And here's Shaj, is this it? Yeah, was this Xenio? Yeah. Oh. Oh my god, this event. Oh my god. This event was so weird. Like, these booths, by the way, were the hottest places on the planet Earth. Okay? I don't know why I'm leaving it so small. Like, these booths, they built these booths. NASL. We actually rented, like Day 9 TV rented these booths for the After Hours Gaming League. And by the way, look at this I Buy Power banner. Remember me talking about the size of the banners? There it is. There it is right there. There's your large banner. It's crazy. I Buy Power is actually like a pretty notable brand these days. And I remember they were pretty new, to at least to the esports scene back then. But these booths were the hottest things in America. Like, oh my god, these poor players had to basically like step into a sweat lodge and try to play StarCraft. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, this is such a great story. So I don't know if you know this, but when StarCraft 1 launched, it just had a really weird chat functionality. Like there was no in-game chat pretty much at all. There were like no chat channels. It was really difficult to like talk to people. There was a weird invite structure. If someone had your ID, they could just message you in a game. And so it was like this huge problem in MLG broadcast that players would just spam offensive messages to the observer, and there was like nothing you could do about it. And in the NASL third, fourth place match, what happened was so StarCraft, it's so crazy to me that this is like a new thing in 2010, but when StarCraft 2 came out, you and I could make the same IDs, right? If you wanted to be Day 9 and I wanted to be Day 9, we could both create the ID Day 9. And that's that little hidden hash thing at the end, you know, where I'm like, I'm Day 9 6265, right? And you're Day 9 0102. So there were accounts that were created that was like NASL referee A, NASL referee B, and they were the ones who were in charge of inviting the players. Now, there weren't chat channels, right? You couldn't join a chat channels. You literally just sat there hanging out until NASL referee A invited you. So two fucking trolls just invited the players who were getting ready for their third, fourth place match into the game, fired it off, and the commentators are filling, and they're filling, and, you know, they're watching the players, like, you know, engaged, like, playing shit. And you know, the staff, the admins were just like, oh yeah, they're still warming up. They still haven't come out and let us know that they're ready to go. Because, again, like, those booths that we just looked, they were small sweat lodges, not a lot of room for people in there. And so, like, at some point, someone figures out that they're both in the same game. They get in there like, what are you doing? And the players are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they had to restart the game. And, like, both players were so pissed because they just, like, showed each other their openings. What is this? What is this? Schmagegi says, here's Dan on TV and Geoff casting a stream I directed. And Geoff has just about had it with my bullshit. Is this? Yeah, what is this? I haven't seen this.
Life played an amazing, aggressive game number 1 and completely
Oh god, it's so hard to hear myself talk, man. This is the worst.
Ran SKMC in game number 1 on Cloud Kingdom. Game number 2 is going to be on GSL Whirlwind SE. It's an open map, Geoff. I do think that Life is going to be performing very well on this map given his style.
Oh, I turned it down.
Yes. These professionals up here and their production crew, I'll tell you, I'm gonna break the fourth wall. Sean actually did that entire intro while being yelled at, kind of, in his.
Oh my god, I forgot about this moment. Okay, so one of the greatest people I've ever had the pleasure of working with is in chat. His name's Schmagegi. He is a stream director. Okay, he's a stream director. What's the end of this? Like,
Sean actually did that entire intro while being yelled at, kind of, in his ear, and
Life brings the series to 2-0.
That's such a stupid comment. I thought there was more. But okay, so generally the way a stream works, like a broadcast like this, is there's me. There's me and there's my co-caster, and we have our little headsets on, and we have like a little panel with buttons on it. That one is a cough button, so if I need to go like I hit that button. So for instance, if I did that here, you see how you didn't hear anything? So that's for coughing, clearing your throat, things like that. There is a talkback button where I can hold it and I can talk to the director who is backstage. And generally backstage you'll have a director who is coordinating, who's saying like, all right, we're going to go to camera 1, okay, we're going to camera 2. Stand by, we're going to camera 2 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, to camera 2. There's a guy who's like operating the switchboard. There's an audio guy. There's a graphics guy. Schmagegi was a director. So Schmagegi was in my ear, just like, Sean, you're going to be going live in 3, 2, 1. And Schmagegi liked to fuck with me. Now, I want to clarify what this means. This doesn't mean that I sit down to work and I suddenly get tortured. What I mean is that there's a sort of unsung, underappreciated role of the director in a broadcast, which is, yeah, I'm calling the action, but it is also my responsibility to ease the stress and discomforts of the people on air. So like, for instance, right when we're getting ready to like count in, Adam says jokes, he laughs. Like, if I say a joke on air, I have like soundproof headphones on. The only person that I can hear is Geoff. But if there's a good joke, then Schmagegi will hold the button and he'll just laugh in my ear just to give me the positive feedback that was a good joke, right? So I really like working with Adam for this reason, because I get excited to sit down. I've worked with directors who are just literally gonna have a meltdown at all points in times. Like, you can just see their faces red and they're shaking with stress. And so I'd worked with Adam for a while, and what happened is when I started to do this, when we're getting ready to the game, or getting ready to go into the game, Adam starts talking in my ear. Now typically if I'm talking, if I'm saying stuff, director doesn't talk in your ear, but occasionally you will have a director say things like, commercial break coming up. Commercial break in 20 seconds. All right, throw to commercial when you're ready. Throw to commercial when you're ready. And if I'm finishing up a thought, I kind of have to tune out, throw to commercial when you're ready. And so, I was at this broadcast, and right when this video starts, Adam just holds the button and goes, don't fuck up, Sean. Don't fuck up. Stay focused. Don't fuck up. Don't trip over your words. Come on, man. Don't fuck up. Gotta stay focused, man. You're fucking up. You're really falling apart right now. He's doing this as I'm saying this.
I start?
Life played an amazing,
He's talking in my ear right
number
now.
1 and completely
The whole time.
overran SKMC.
He's
in
just
game
nonstop.
Number 1 on Cloud Kingdom. Game number 2 is going to be on GSL Whirlwind SE. It's
Razor
an open
focus.
map, Geoff. I do think that Life is going to be performing very well on this map given his style.
And right after I said given his style, I held my talkback button and I said to Adam, get fucked. And then this is when Geoff responds.
Yes. These professionals up here and their production crew, I'll tell you, I'm gonna break the fourth wall. Sean actually did that entire intro while being yelled at, kind of, in his.
Yelled at, kind of. Oh my god. Oh fuck, those events were so fun. Oh jeez, I'd forgotten about that one. Oh my gosh. All right, where is this? The best joke from the holiday bash.
Crazy.
All right, what's this about? All right, we're just watching clips, man. We're watching clips.
Go for
it.
I was gonna say,
Man, is he gonna go for it though?
You know, this is.
Oh my god.
They were like,
This
is
is what this cast is. It's just me speculating. I'm like, what if he?
Is he gonna go for it, you guys?
Would he lose the game? I don't know. Am I talking to anybody?
Sean or
No.
Nick has commentated so long he can't turn it off. He's like,
turn it off,
he's
dude.
like, guys, is it gonna be a fight? It's like they were fighting. He's like, well, let it play out. I called it, so it goes.
Oh god.
All right, so we got about 8 Dragoons, which is more than 7, so, that's bad as well. Take it away, Nick.
I'm back, guys. He's got a Reaver at the ramp. Is he going to try to go down?
Can he go down the ramp?
Is he going to do it?
Is he going to let the shuttle?
I don't know. Well, I don't know because I'm not him. So, White Raw is actually powering up here on 3 gates, getting a Reaver, and Draco is he's expanding, guys. There's going to be a push.
Is he expanding?
Is he going to cancel it?
Stop it.
Is he going to cancel it?
I can't.
No,
see
he
it.
wasn't. I guess that was a good play. I guess that was a good play.
Okay, well,
Guys, in 30 seconds, Nick's going to explain shuttle micro versus non-shuttle Reaver micro, and I cannot wait for this.
Well, you guys get ready, man.
I want to know
Buckle
that
your
this-
seatbelts.
There's a lot of different paths that were taken leading up to this point. Draco with the early push.
Oh my god, now I'm actually analyzing the game. I ruin. I always step in and want to talk about how the game works, man. Oh my god. Fucking tears and laughter, man. Oh, what's this? What's the
you
the
do it,
Plot
man?
Brothers clip? Oh, this is all right. Here we go.
How you do it, man?
The Plot Brothers. Woo!
Every time I watch the GSL, I'm amazed exclusively by my brother. That is it. I'm just Nick is incredible.
Yeah.
You are like the mage that blesses my sword before the battle.
There's a number of ways to read that one, isn't there? Jeez.
How you do it?
I mean, no, that's like literally. Oh god. Oh shit. Oh, that's so good.
The Plot Brothers. Woo!
Every time I watch the GSL, I'm amazed exclusively by my brother. That is it. I'm just Nick is incredible.
Yeah.
You are like the mage that blesses my sword before the battle.
There's a number of ways to read that one, isn't there? Jeez.
Oh my god. Oh shit. What's bust out? What is this clip? What is this one? I don't know this one. Oh shit. Oh god, I'm closing everything. Oh my god, I just closed all my windows. Where did you guys go? Wow, that's actually remarkable to just close chat on accident. All right, I think I got you back. Hey guys. Oh. God, I'm so sad. Oh. The meals are so funny. Thank you all, everyone, for joining me here. Really, thank you. Thank you a lot. Hope this has been cathartic for some people. Oh my god. I don't know if cats can actually tell if their owners are sad, but my cats have been like super all over me this weekend. Oh my god. Is this what I think it is?
One of the funniest times.
Oh my god, it's a White Raw story. Yeah. Yes.
One of the funniest times I ever had with him was we were in Korea for IEF, and there was a couple times where it was definitely like at esports events they very much so like are like, hey, we're gonna do that party night, you know, we're gonna celebrate. So it's kind of a common thing. So every gamer usually brings like one outfit that is their party outfit, I suppose. And White Raw shows up at the party, and I shit you not, his shirt that he was wearing hung off his shoulder, and it had space for breasts. It was a women's t-shirt. We were laughing our ass off. We're like, White Raw, that's a girl's shirt. It's like, no, I buy this in men's section. It's very fashion forward. Very fashion forward. It was absolutely not. He was wearing a women's shirt. We were laughing our ass off. The funniest part about him too, and this is like so White Raw, is they wanted us. They being the Koreans, put the white people in a line, and during this big dinner where all the investors came out to, you know, see who they had brought into town, essentially, they had us line up and like give a speech. And for most of the people there, it was no problem. They spoke English. Koreans didn't necessarily speak English, but they had translators, so it was okay. But then White Raw gets up there, and without even a moment's hesitation, because he's not worried or afraid at all, he just starts like giving this speech in broken-ass White Raw English, which not many people could understand, including the translator. But he never slowed down, he never stopped, and he never stopped smiling, because it's White Raw, and he was just so happy to be like speaking to a group of people. And he's like, the country is brood war, so unites. Thank you. And he like stepped down and like walked away, and he was just like huge shit-eating grin on his face, so happy. And the entire place was like, they gave it like a minute, and then they were like, okay, thank you. I understand what just happened.
Oh my god, White Raw stories are the best. Oh my gosh. Oh man. White Raw's an amazing Ukrainian player. I'm gonna use the restroom. Just stay here. Hey everyone. I took an extra minute because I got a beer. Get your guys, grab a brew. Got some toasting to do. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, special tactics. Special tactics. Oh my god. For any who don't know special tactics, this is where it's from.
And Skew's a guy who a lot of people don't know about, but he was very good in Brood War. He famously lost to Yellow in a total of, I think it was 3 minutes in the best of 3 at a Blizzard Invitational.
Oh shit, that's right.
But he played White Raw for some fairly big Brood War tournament, and he beats White Raw the first round. And White Raw, like we've been saying the whole time, is like the most mannered guy in the whole world. And White Raw literally says, I think it was actually streams, like way early in the stream, or maybe it wasn't. I can't remember, but he says, "Good game, Gori. I use special tactics. It's no problem." And we're all like, what? What? Because White Raw only says "good game, GLHF." That's it. But he's like going on about this special tactics, and we're like, I remember me personally being like, White Raw, what is special tactics? He goes, oh, special tactics. You see, it's fine. And it's like, oh. Well, it turns out special tactics is 2-base, like 12 gateways, pure zealot dragoon. And
just send them all in on a move command and
Just
eventually
kills.
stop them. Yeah.
Just murders.
Oh man.
Skew gets obliterated.
Yeah.
And I think he did it game 3 as well. Special tactics. Codified in history forever as the coolest thing he's ever said.
Oh man. Good old White Raw. Sean.
So funny. I mean, that exploded. All right, sweetheart. Dad's having a moment. Oh my god. I still remember there was some bracket contest. Best meme in StarCraft. And, yeah, Special Tactics came out first place. God. I just have so many good memories of playing Brood War. All those Brood War guys are great. Brood War is such a weird game. It's so weird. Because like there's the way that Brood War was made, and Brood War is just dripping with awesomeness in all these ways. Like, you know, like think about how your League or Dota commentators will talk about certain heroes, like, oh yeah, this composition, they're missing some catch. And so I really think that this hero would have a really nice catch in this matchup, you know. And that's like a property, and you're thinking about it from the competitive standpoint. But, you know, you look back to the original StarCraft, I mean, it was just identity. Like the Zerg, the Insectoid, huge numbers of units. You know, the scrappy Terrans, the sort of like almost religious tribal Protoss. I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, I was so enamored with that game as a kid, just like what it was as a game. And then like you start to like learn how to play it properly, and it just fucking doesn't make sense. Like, you only select 12 units at a time, and Zerg has several half supply units. So if I have like 20 supply of Zerglings, I need like 4 control groups to like move that shit around. I mean, it's ridiculous. It like doesn't make any sense. It's like, can I select multiple buildings? Well, in other RTS games that were released beforehand, yeah. In this game, no, you don't get to fucking do that. I mean, it was just so. It's just so awkward of a game to play. So I mean, I've talked about this before, but like Brood War, it's almost like a game that hates you. The game just like hates the shit out of you. You just have to play so fast just to do what you want to do. So all those guys just, you know, the WCG troop that would go every year. All those guys, you know, we love to just complain about all the stupidness there, but you know, you really cherish it. I just kind of miss that connection that so few people have like played Brood War super seriously. Yeah, Eon Blue says that in Brood War you fight the game so much that you don't get to fight your opponent. Well, yeah, and it was so weird in the same way that, like, you know, a lot of the Brood War guys like to jab at each other. You know, it's like, yeah, we all say our race is the weakest race and stuff, but then it's just like, no, but this is the greatest game ever, and you will learn about yourself when you play this. God, yeah, and there were clans. Remember when they were called clans and not teams? Remember Clan X17? Who here was in Clan X17 in Brood War? Or Clan No Hunters, which was basically the Clan X17 spillover. Because channels could only have 40 people. IRC days, baby. Oh my god. Shantu says we were awful. We're all still awful. We're all still horrible at Brood War, trying to catch up. Oh man. Anyone have any good Geoff stories? I'm starting to just run out of steam. Rude Cat says, hold me, Sean. Oh my god, cats. Oh man. That was a really beautiful post you wrote, man. If any of you haven't gone to our StarCraft to just... maybe you're like me and you've reread every thread like 40 times. But Cats wrote just a beautiful message, blog, post. Nathanius also just wrote a really lovely piece. Zombie Grub wrote another really lovely piece. You know, all the StarCraft guys, you know, I really love you guys, you know? I mean, I know I don't really broadcast a lot of StarCraft stuff. You know, I did the StarCraft Remastered series, but, you know, I watch a bunch. Talk to you guys a bunch. Oh, there's tissue on my face. How embarrassing. What a way to ruin the gravity of my statements. And I know the way I feel, the way a lot of people feel about their gaming communities, you know. You know, it's a shared bond. Because games in a lot of ways are just a bunch of fucking problems. That's all games are, right? Games just like a stupid problem, right? Like, okay, you can only select 12 units at a time. Play Zerg. Like, oh, fuck. Okay, Jesus, right? How do you set up your hotkeys? Oh, it's such a huge discussion in Brood War. How do you even set that up? And, you know, we're all just trying to improve ourselves and get better and have that shared experience. And I don't know. I just think gaming communities are so important, you know. I mean, for me it's StarCraft, but you know, You know, there's a lot of people who've been playing fighting games their whole lives, going to arcades, developing rivalries and friendships. You know, it's the same sort of thing. You know, you don't maybe spend 2 days a week calling them and chatting them up, but you see them at those events time in, time out. You compete against them. You might hardly exchange words, but you know that person at a level because you played against them. It's like a form of intimacy to spar with someone in a game. It's just yeah. I think I'm gonna turn my stream off here. All right, everyone, get a drink. Get a drink. We're gonna do a toast to our friend Geoff. Maybe it's water. Probably should be water for me, man. I just want to thank all of you for joining me to just talk about Geoff today. Thanks for joining me to talk about Geoff today. That's a great comment there. I don't know how to parse that name. The Petal Eshera says, don't forget to mention SoCal Bulldogs. Yeah, SoCal Bulldogs. If you go to iNcontroL's Twitter, there's a link to SoCal Bulldogs, which is an organization that he cared for very much. Southern California Bulldog Rescue. The link is being posted in chat. Fantastic. But thank you for, you know, letting me just talk for a long time on air today and just being so supportive. I know a lot of people are mourning, and they all do it in different ways. I really think this is a testament to the strength of community, and there's been a lot of really wonderful people who I've known through StarCraft, who I haven't spoken to in a long time, and they're all reaching out, and it's really nice. And I'd like to remind all of you to leverage the same sort of thing, because I think that this is, you know, what makes gaming communities really special, is that we're all part of this sort of shared experience, and I'm just amazed at how many people are there willing to be supportive. I'd like to give a cheers, a toast to our friend Geoff, whom I know we'll all miss very much, who was an absolute force of nature, who was hilarious, who was a good man. Cheers, Geoff. Oh, God. I'm gonna turn the stream off. I'm gonna find somebody to host. I'm probably gonna just sit here for a little bit and just play music. If you guys want to listen to some sad music, and play some sad music. And I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow. Much love, everyone.